Hey there, it's your girl Aaron. So today, what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be recording myself programming or at least prototyping for a web app. And so yeah, if that's sort of boring or whatever, you might not want to watch the whole video or whatever. But if you are interested in going through that and just passive content, I guess, then you're welcome. And filming it helps me to stay focused um, and explain what I'm doing so that I can think it through well, and it makes sure that I don't get distracted. And at the same time, I'm sure there are people who are interested in the process. So what I'm basically decided to do is to make a game. As with all my projects, though, the fact that I'm saying I want to do it isn't a guarantee it's going to get done. I wish I were able to be that consistent. But so far, it's been a week that I've wanted to, and I still want to, which is a good sign. But basically, the idea was that I've got all these things I want to do, like this book I want to write, games I want to make. Um, I've had all this stuff that I've been planning for a while, but it's going to take a lot of time to actually implement those things. And so I won't be able to really do many YouTube videos and stuff if I were dedicating my time to that. So, because I've been focusing on my channel, believe it or not, I had a bit of a burnout stretch for a while there. But yeah, I have still been focusing on YouTube even though I haven't put out that much. It's just been like trying and failing and stuff. But hopefully this will not fail. um, Although this is the second try for this particular thing. But the idea was that um, if there's something that I really do feel interested in doing right now, I can at least try and do that, because I am in a bit of a slump in terms of motivation. And so whatever it is that I am actually feeling motivated for, um, uh, working on stuff that I'm not motivated for is a lot more tiring. It takes a lot more energy, spoons, whatever. And so if it's something I'm actually interested in, then it doesn't take sort of labor or work or whatever. It just feels like just, I don't know, having fun, I guess. Or yeah. So right now, that's this idea for a game, and the game will be set in the universe of my book and other games. So it's just another way to get at that universe, and I want many, many ways for people to be able to experience it through different mediums, video, book, either audiobook, games, multiple games, graphic novels. There's like all these ideas I have, and I want to base it in the same universe because, well, I mean, if you think about it, sorry, my arm is getting a bit tired there. If you think about it, the that's what corporations do with their best IP is they just keep investing in that and try to build it up as much as possible and try to add depth and add all of that and increase the surface area basically where they can get fans and try to uh, bring people over from one medium to another because they're tied to the IP. So with my own sort of book idea and this whole universe thing I've imagined now, that is essentially an IP, and um, I want to be someone who sort of believes in myself enough and believes in my ideas enough that I will be a caretaker and invest in it in the same way that corporations invest in their assets, basically, of IP. So it's not because I want to copy the corporations. I'm just mentioning that uh, that's a strategy that they do when they value um, strengthening that IP, which is what I want to do because it's in that setting and in the set of circumstances. It's like some weird noises, but it's like it's that set of circumstances where and the stories that I'm telling, or my projection of the future basically, and the contrasts between now and the things we can learn from that, those are inherent in the actual like universe that I've imagined, and the stories I tell within it are just ways of experiencing those dynamics. And so what I want to do is just let people have access to that universe. And so my idea was, what is the easiest way to give people access to that universe? I could write a little bit at a time, but I don't think that's going to be a very engaging experience because it's not something that I'm like, I get distracted when I don't know what a noise is. Okay, so if I wrote like a little bit of it at a time, I don't think that's going to be very engaging for people. If I try to make a video about it, the editing is too much work. If I try to write like a big game, again, too much work. But what if all I had to do was write dialogue and a description of each setting, write a description of it, and then allow the player in a game to choose an option and make it a text-based game basically, and reduce the mechanics and the working side of the game to almost zero, because it will be very relatively easy to make a text-based game mechanically, especially the way I'm going to design it. So most of the work is actually just going to be writing descriptions and dialogue for the universe, and it'll be a little bit amount of work at a time I can do, that once I've done a whole lot of it over time can be released as a game where people can experience it, and it will have depth because of how much content there is in it. So the idea is that by making the game simpler, I can spend more time on the content side of it, the story side of it. And so I was thinking of how I would be able to tell relatively complex stories, mechanically speaking, without too heavy of a engine investment. And so my thinking was I would just have objects that represented like data objects in JSON or whatever that represented the player, each character in the game, or like items in the game, and settings or places. And then each of those will have hooks into what gets read out when you open a scene, obviously. And then I'll use a tagging system where you could switch on or off visibility on certain encounters, places, people, items, or dialogue options. So then you could have certain things in the game trigger giving someone a tag, and then that would change the way the world reacts to them now, because all the options that are including or excluding people based on that tag will kick into play. And that will hopefully make the game feel reactive and make it feel like it's responding to your choices, with most of the work just being in actually defining how that change should take place, and adding extra content in to handle those things. And that will obviously complexify the story, so might start off with only a few tags. And yeah, so that's the idea, and hopefully what I come up with will be interesting. So what I'm going to start doing, hardy dolls, the first thing I want to do now is to actually work on an editor that will allow me to manipulate those JSON data objects that the engine is going to just read and print to the screen. I want to be able to add those and connect them to each other as easily as possible so that I don't have to do it manually by copy pasting in text files or whatever. I have a UI interface because I'm the kind of person who likes UI. And I'll be able to do it with like a mouse and whatever, and I'll be able to do it like and get a picture of things that way. And so I want to try and get like a map where it's like you can zoom in and pan like you can in Google Maps over basically the data represented as a graph or whatever, a network graph. So yeah, that's what I'm planning. I've done a little bit of digging to see if there's any libraries. I found a library that looks promising, but I haven't tried to use it yet, and so uh, I don't really know what I'm doing, and I haven't done web dev for a while. This might be a train wreck and super boring, but yeah, hopefully it's mildly interesting. Um, and yeah, I'll catch you when I am inside at my computer.
Hey all. So I'm at my computer now and I'm going to download this library and see if I can get it to work and then take it from there. So let's go to so yeah, this is the Cytoscape.js library that I found. It was linked to me from someone on the I Study the Terminal Facebook group, so thanks for that. Looks pretty cool. And if I go into an example here, I can go into this one here, and you can see it's got all these nodes that are connected to each other, and then you can drag them around, which is pretty cool. We also have like this is pretty cool actually. So if you right click, you get this. So now when I move my mouse, so this is like what you might be familiar with from gaming on console, when you push down the joystick and then you can move it around to select, which is pretty cool because what I want to do is be able to action off of nodes. But now that I think about it, so yeah, I could have an option to like go to parent, if you have a parent, or I could have like edit and then maybe delete or a clone. So I don't know. But yeah, it's just cool that it has that feature. And then you can also like use your mouse wheel to scroll in and out. It jumps a fair amount, but it's not too bad. And then you can drag around. You can drag these around. When you click them, they highlight. So that's all going to be important because, well, the moving around is cool because you need to sometimes want to organize it in a way that feels comfortable to you to look at. So that lets you do that. And then the fact that you can select them. So I'm going to put a panel up on the right with all the info of that node, and you can edit it there. Like in this example they have here, there's a panel here, but they're not loading anything into it when you hit this. But there's also, Anyway, my plan is to maybe they have a tutorial or something. Let's look for okay, download cytoscape.js. Okay, the folder thing I've got here already, basically the source folder here. So I already had like some templates, JS and stuff set up for that. So where do I download this? No. Kind of probably just go for the latest one, eh? What? Wow, the music I'm listening to is so epic. Drum and bass. All that love, all that love, all that love. Wow, it is a 2, or uncompressed, or no, unstable. But this is probably uncompressed. Maybe there's a better way of like getting a compressed one. I don't know. I might be messing this up because I just want to get like the library. I feel like I'm oh, there's downloads here. Okay. Sweet. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, I love JavaScript. I'm struggling to find I mean, like, does that give you the library? Is that? I can try this, I guess. Lol. I guess, wait, let's go to the right directory. So, no. So being case sensitive one. Is this what I call it? Yes. This is the editor, not the actual game. I'm doing the editor first so that I can make the content for the game, because the game, as I said earlier, is going to be thin. Which, I don't know, probably not many people will play it, but maybe that's good for like a hashtag first game idea. Okay, so now I can do the what I had. npm install Cytoscape. So npm is Node.js package manager, and I don't know what those warnings all about, but I mean, if I go into Node modules, it's in there. Okay, so let's go into Cytoscape and see what's in there. So now, I don't actually need a terminal for this stuff. What a lol. If you're curious, I am on Manjaro Linux. Basically, I was using Windows 10, did Windows updates a while back, bricked my computer. Had to reinstall Windows. Next Windows update comes by. It bricks itself. I have to reinstall Windows, so now it's like getting on my nerves a little bit now. And finally another Windows update. So like sometimes your computer is just, it's such a unstable state that you have to reboot. But with Windows, once it's been long enough, they don't let you reboot without updating. So anyway, you kind of like cross your fingers and killed my hard drive and became almost like unusably slow. So I was like, damn it. I was dual booting with Linux at the time, but I never used Linux. I just installed it just because I was reinstalling, and I was like, it would be cool to use Linux, and then I tried, but then I wanted to game and stuff, play Heroes of the Storm, etc. So yeah, I went back to Windows and then killed my hard drive. So now I'm on Linux, and I'm not even going to reinstall Windows because, to be honest, it's not worth the anxiety. You know, I'd rather, the anxiety of trying to get stuff working on Linux is less bad than the anxiety of Windows screwing up your hardware for you, making itself unusable. It's almost like they have broken drivers that they keep pushing out, you know, and when you reinstall, you can install, I don't know why it keeps doing that, but anyway. You can get into conspiracy theories and be like, well, they proxied and they just do that to leftists. Just put like dodgy stuff in the updates. Who knows? I mean, they don't do that, I'm sure they don't. Just because they can doesn't mean they would. But the point was that, yeah, if it doesn't work on Linux, I guess it's goodbye to it from me for now. And I'll see if I can give this a good shot this time, commit to it a bit. So I've got OBS working, which is cool. Then I need to find a video editor. So if you're watching this, I either went back to Windows or I got a video editor. I'm sure I just got a video editor. Okay, but now I wanted to look at okay, so yeah, like that's wait, ESN. What do these mean? Yeah, I clicked on the right link. Minified, okay, non-minified build. So, according to this, okay, so before we get into Cytoscape yet, let's get our layout working. Okay, so this is gonna actually be graph container. Cool. Why wouldn't it indent for me? You suck. Okay. This is code, by the way. Hashtag Microsoft, I guess. This div will be the panel on the right. So let's call this node content, or just node content. Well, you can see it's a panel with your human faculties. Okay, so our index style sheet should just do some stuff. So I think what I'm gonna actually dig is, so although yeah, this gives you colors now, I think, right? These like modern day browsers. I just want the background to have like something that's not too high contrast but not too low either. I mean, our default color doesn't even have to be white. So we could look at something like AAF or even BBF. Okay, cool. I wonder what that combo actually ends up looking like. Goodbye world. Goodbye. Goodbye. Because Hello World is for boomers. My meme is on point. Wait, I need to actually find this thing. What am I even doing? I might be slightly not sober. Wait. Yes. Ah, yeah, that's pretty cool, I think. As just your fallback to make sure, even if there's like some random weird error message, I'm not gonna have to look at black and white contrast text because it hurts my snowflake eyes. Okay, so next I wanted to just separate these two lovely ladies into their own spaces. I'll give them domain, although not equal domain unfortunately, although both very important and suited to their needs. So you do hashtag for IDs and dot for classes. So let's make this background, I think we might actually want to go slightly lighter, maybe even let's try a 444. Yeah. And then our color in the graph, I mean, BBF was cool. I think it's a nice color as a default. Okay, but now on the right hand side, let's make it a bit lighter. Let's go 6s. Or do we want to go mid 5s maybe? Go like 5e. 5 edition. Dungeons and Dragons. That's totally how to choose colors. And our content, let's make it sort of like an orange. So like maybe an FCA. That's way too light. Maybe like an FA9. F96. That might be nice. Okay, cool. So now what I want to do, this is going to be positioned absolutes, and it's going to be left 0 top. Only zeros, you don't need the units. And then this is going to be same story, but right and top 0. So one's stuck on the left and one's stuck on the right, so they're both stuck on the top. Then this one is going to give them both full heights. And then this one, I'm going to do 75% of the screen, let's say. And then this one can be 25. And that should... So now we'll just need some text in there as well, if we want to see both colors, which might be cool to see. So, goodbye world. I don't know. You don't have to be OCD to be a programmer, but you could be. I won't stop you. Okay, cool. So that's pretty much exactly what I was hoping for, I guess. I like it. So the darker background should fade away with lighter nodes on top. With the panel on the right, we'll be able to basically put maybe even lighter, yeah, but I mean that's fine for now. I mean, this is not going to be very super overly engineered endeavor at all. Jeez, I finished my drink already. Yeah, I wanted to try and get Cytoscape working now. So now I've got a container for it, which is the goodbye container. I just closed code. Why would it not warn me? I feel betrayed. I'm not that responsible. Okay, so we can worry about that later. For now, we got that right. So now, yeah. So now we can put our graph stuff in. I think. Where was it? Something like that, yeah. So So now this just needs to be, let's put it in libs, because then we can own libs. I mean, yeah. Wait. It was just regular, or yeah, still unminified. We're busy developing. We need to look at it, what it's doing. We would be able to. This isn't the way you're supposed to do things, I don't think. But the cool thing is, nobody can stop me. I just want to actually get. See, that's like those like minor things where you notice you're not in Windows. You can't just like rename something by clicking twice on it apparently. Okay, so now we will have Cytoscape referenced, and should I just freaking copy exactly what they're doing? Because like, I'm starting to run out of ideas. Oh, cool. Aha. So, I wonder why it didn't work before. That's pretty cool already, like that it's just worked. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break. Right, how long have I been recording? 55 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a day. A little bit tired. So yeah, that'll be it. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another attempt to progress this. Bye.